Hey guys, what's up? Spenny here. So in today's video, we are going to value Palantir. Now, I'm going to go through an article, show you guys what this analyst thinks that Palantir should be valued at. Then I'm going to go into the financials myself and compare it to Snowflake. And we're going to see if Palantir is undervalued or overvalued right now. So before we do get into this video, make sure to drop it a big thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. And feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Palantir related content. I do cover this stock quite a bit on this channel. So anyways, getting straight into it, guys. How big is this opportunity? Palantir believes its addressable market is 119 billion. That's reoccurring revenue every year is the total addressable market that Palantir believes. So Palantir's partners such as IBM all have a vested interest in seeing the company succeed. The analysis is yet further complicated by the fact that Palantir's platform has significant network effects. The more companies join, the more value it can potentially provide. So I've mentioned the network effect before, makes it really difficult to value this company. So we're going to be the most important software company in the world, and people will figure out what that's valued over a long period of time. And we're very comfortable with investors toying around. It could be like this, it could be like that. Yeah, Palantir, extremely difficult to value. You get some really opposite opinions on this stock. So we are going to deliver the world's best software with the world's most efficient way of delivering it. Investors will decide what's that work is worth to them. That doesn't make any sense. I think he's trying to say investors will decide what's that worth to them. Anyways, and I think you'll find in a number of years that there will be a consensus. Palantir is a truly special software company that is arguably the most important software company in the world. Those are my words straight out of my mouth. I've been saying that Palantir is going to be the most important company in the world over the next 30 years. And I know 30 years sounds ridiculous. We are at the very beginning of a software revolution. I've been saying this in my past videos, and I just think Palantir is the best positioned for it. I've laid that out in previous videos, so definitely check them out if you want to see what I talk about. Anyways, though, moving on through this article, suppose that investors realize that Palantir's opportunity is, in our view, bigger than that of Snowflake's. If Palantir were to trade a similar multiple, it would value the company at a roughly 100 billion market cap. Keep in mind, right now we're around 40 billion market cap. So this would be $55 a share. If Palantir could capture 8% of this 119 billion market, it would be worth $105 a share, assuming a 20x revenue multiple, half of what it trades at currently. Therefore, we are long Palantir with a price target of $50 in the near term and $100 in the medium term. But suppose that Palantir could capture 30% of the market, it would be worth $400 in the long term, with the added tailwind of significant network effects providing a roadmap to future growth. Yeah, so I think $400 in the long term is definitely realistic. I think it's going to be worth way more than that when you're looking 10 to 30 years out. However, near term, that's where it gets confusing, and that's what I'm really going to dive into with you guys in this video. Near term, you have some wildly different opinions, to say the least. However, long term, it's hard to argue. Long term, yeah, this stock, I have almost no doubt it's going to hit $400 one day. I just don't know if that's in 3 years or 15 years. But that's just a part of being a long-term investor. You really got to stay patient for a company like this to actually play out. So anyways, getting into the actual financials here. So it trades at a price of sales of 37, and the price of sales is really a popular way to value a growth stock. 37 is expensive, however, it's not as expensive as some would think, if you compare it to Snowflake, which we will in a second. This company is expected to grow around 35% to 30% over the coming years. Very nice growth rate, gotta say that. Now, some people don't think this is accurate. Some people are forecasting 40 to 50%. Obviously, that would change the valuation drastically in the near term. Analysts are actually saying that the stock is worth $25.83 for now on average. Currently, we're trading around $22, so it's actually a little bit of upside according to analysts. However, I don't think anybody can actually value this company right now. So don't put much thought into that. It really just doesn't mean a lot. Obviously, it's nice to see that analysts are expecting it to go higher than lower. It's a good sign either way. But anyways, where things get actually really interesting is when you compare this to Snowflake, arguably the most comparable company here. So Snowflake currently has a market cap of $47 billion and is trading at $216. Now keep in mind, because this is important, this stock was trading at $390, so it has lost, almost 40% of its value. And I knew this was going to happen. I've been calling it for a while that Snowflake was drastically overvalued. My buy price for Snowflake was under 200. We've almost reached there. I think we actually will see a sub $200 price on Snowflake, so keep that in mind. I'm not buying it until I see it definitely under 200. But even with that 40% drop, the stock is trading at an 80 price to sales ratio. That's pretty crazy to have a 40% drop and still be at an 80 PS ratio. Palantir has a PS of, what did I say, around 37. So when you compare it to Snowflake, Palantir doesn't look really that expensive. Snowflake is looking very pricey. And even analysts are extremely bullish on it at these prices. Analysts have an average price of $302, and we're at an 80 PS ratio. So I really don't know what analysts are thinking when it comes to Snowflake. If we actually look at their growth rate, I recognize it's really high. They're expected to grow at 84%, 64% the next year. So their growth rate is significantly higher than Palantir. But, I think that 80 PS ratio and they think the stock is worth about 30% more than here. That's a little bit steep to me. If that is really what they believe, then I think that they're severely undercutting Palantir. Palantir to me is a more valuable company than Snowflake. In almost any way how you look at it. Palantir is the one with the government contracts. They have that trust. When a new company is looking to hire, let's say either Palantir or Snowflake, well, it's hard to argue that they wouldn't be trusting Palantir more than them. So yeah, I think it's a little bit crazy how the market is valuing Snowflake compared to Palantir. There seems to be an extreme disconnect between the two. But that doesn't mean I think Palantir is really undervalued in the short term. You see, I think it's actually almost impossible to properly value them because these are complicated businesses to understand, and it's really difficult to forecast their growth in the near term. If I forecast Palantir's growth over the next 30 years, then yeah, it's looking extremely cheap, and I think we can keep up to that 30% growth rate for a really long time. Near term though, you never know how the market is going to value a stock. It constantly is going to trade at different valuations every year. So right now it's trading at a PS of 37. Next year it might trade at a PS of 15 or a PS of 80. Nobody really knows because there's a lot of different factors that go into that. A lot of it is just market sentiment. A lot of it is different catalysts. But another big factor to consider is the rising US 10-year Treasury. So if we keep on seeing these massive spikes in the 10-year Treasury, then the stock market could definitely reevaluate Palantir at a lower price to sales ratio, and the same thing would happen to Snowflake. And arguably this has actually been taking effect on them lately. Snowflake has gone from $390 to almost $200 a share. That's largely a part of the rise in the 10-year Treasury. Also just a massive tech sell-off. There's more than one factor that goes into it. So yeah, putting a value on it in the near term is extremely difficult. Not enough people understand the company, and I don't think there's ever going to be enough people to fully understand these companies to have a clear picture of what kind of multiple these stocks can trade off of. So anyways, I think these are going to be extremely volatile stocks probably for the next 10 years until we get better understandings of them, more data. You got to remember, these are two newly publicly traded companies. We don't know a lot about Palantir's history because they were private for so long, and they were a pretty secretive company. So I think over the next few years, we're going to learn a lot, and we're going to be able to actually probably value the company a lot easier as more information comes to us. But yeah guys, anyways, that's all I have for today's video. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of Palantir. Do you guys think it's undervalued, overvalued? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And I'm also going to be doing a Palantir versus Snowflake video. I want to go in depth against these two and find what's the better stock to own. So subscribe if you want to see that video in the future. Anyways though, really appreciate you guys watching till the end. I'll see you on the next video.